You're listening to Kevin McCullough Radio. What do LGBT teens have in greater abundance than heterosexual teens? We'll discuss that, plus a couple of other very important topics for today's KMC Radio.
Kevin McCullough, and here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Obliterating confusion.
Amplifying truth.
And pursuing clarity.
Kevin McCullough, now.
Got a lot to get to, but starting off with Glenn Stanton from Focus on the Family, what could you possibly say to the idea that LGBT teens are more sexually active and evidence of that results in pregnancy than heterosexual teens? We'll discuss that with the author and family activist Glenn Stanton next.
Kevin McCullough.
Something interesting is happening with this.
Kevin McCullough, let me start with you.
I found this thing at townhall.com by Kevin McCullough. The big dog has come out of nowhere.
Kevin McCullough.
I just want to help people think.
Nationally syndicated radio host and author of No He Can't.
And he is playing the role as well as anybody could.
Kevin McCullough is a nationally syndicated radio host and author of No He Can't.
The odds are he's right.
It's Kevin McCullough Radio.
Well, it's rather bizarre when you wake up and you read a headline that just runs against everything that you think would be logical about it, and yet this is the case that I had this morning when I popped open the Federalist.com. I've told you for some weeks now that this is one of those go-to sites for me. I'm reading more and more of their writers on a regular basis, and I saw this writer, Glenn Stanton. I thought, I know that guy. He's the guy from Focus on the Family, and sure enough, he is, but very interesting and provocative article titled, Why Are Lesbian Teens Having 2 to 7 Times as Many Babies as Their Heterosexual Peers? Surprising statistics suggest that for many LGBTQ, sexual orientation is not a fixed identity, but rather something that fluctuates. And Glenn Stanton, it's our joy to welcome you back to the Kevin McCullough microphone. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Kevin. It's good to be with you.
Yeah. So, first of all, what made you want to research the idea of pregnancy rates between heterosexual teens and LGBTQ teens?
That's a good question. It's not like something you would, step out to find. I study the issue generally of just teen pregnancy, and, it was one of my duties here, and came upon this research through that effort. And, of course, that blew my mind. It was one particular article. So I dove into it and actually found quite an impressive little literature on this question of pregnancy rates among gay and lesbian individuals, of course, gays impregnating other people, and not their boyfriends, but their girlfriends.
Well, and this is something that I think there's kind of two sides to this conversation that I'd like to have. And one is what it says about what we know about gender identity and kind of that debate that's going on, but also what it says about where teens are at in their life, because I think the two subjects are worth exploring in and of themselves. So first of all, let's start with the more obvious one. If lesbian teens are getting pregnant at 2 to 7 times greater than declared straight teens, or maybe undeclared teens that just assume themselves straight, and homosexual boys are getting people pregnant at a higher rate, what does that tell us about that community, about that identity, and how it kind of runs counter to the narrative that the culture is putting forward about teens in those situations?
Well, Kevin, first, the first question is just simply, sort of our compassionate heart for individuals like that. That is a lot of sex going on. Who, thinks that the heterosexual rate of teen sex is, below what it should be? Most of us are concerned about this, but this rate being so dramatically higher among gay and lesbian teens than among heterosexuals. What is going on in the hearts and the souls of these individuals seeking so much sex? But the big thing is this really challenges the popular narrative that has been taken for absolute fact that being gay and lesbian is a thing, like, race or ethnicity or being male and female, anything like that. This shows us that it's just simply not. People who identify as either gay or lesbian are not acting like gay or lesbian individuals, and they're acting that way because of their own free choice. And so, this thing that somebody who is gay or somebody who is lesbian is just like somebody who is Black, Asian, Hispanic is just absolutely false. And this data shows that in very dramatic ways.
Well, okay, so what does the and you talk about the data, kind of referring to it in a broad general scope, but what specific data did you look at, and how were you able to come to the understanding of the pregnancy rate, for example?
Well, again, there's a good bit of data. This is just not one or two studies. And this idea that, first of all, another point that is made in the research is that lesbian women have an abortion rate ending unintended pregnancies at twice the rate of heterosexual women. Again, we would see that, yes, the regular abortion rate is too high, but the lesbian abortion rate is twice as high as that. What is going on here? And it tells us that there's something going on here far beyond, the typical, I'm a lesbian or I'm a gay individual sort of script. And this research is fascinating. It's done by mainstream scholars at leading universities and by organizations that, are looking very closely at the issues of teen and adult sexuality.
Give us an example of some of the universities that were involved in the studies that you looked at.
Well, two scholars from the University of South Carolina who look at this issue very closely. Other information from the CDC. In other words,
a secular state school.
Exactly. These are secular schools. They're not conservative organizations. They're not partisan organizations. These are just honest, middle-of-the-road scholars looking at this kind of data.
Now, you mentioned the Centers for Disease Control as well. Did they make this information readily available? Because this seems to, especially for the previous 8 years prior to this year, it seemed like the CDC oftentimes would come up with very politically, oriented outcomes in some of their findings. At least that was the way it appeared at times to me. They own this research, and they say that they came to the same conclusion?
Well, they do, if you can find it. It's dug deep down into the data itself. When you read news stories on these kinds of reports from the CDC, they never really report on that kind of stuff. But it is right there, and they are upfront about it and clear about it. But, you have to kind of dig down below the surface to find this kind of stuff, which really is an indictment upon our journalists who, are they're the ones that are digging down. They're the ones that are bringing us the truth. They're the ones that are skeptical about, the scripts that we have in stories out there. But they are not doing this. They're not digging into the interesting stories, and that doesn't really surprise any of us, does it?
Yeah, no, not exactly. We're speaking with Glenn Stanton of Focus on the Family. Glenn, what do you primarily do for Focus? You talked about researching teen pregnancy, but the issue of health for young people in this area is something that's very passionate to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm studying all kinds of issues, the benefits of marriage, the downsides of cohabitation, have written on these things, researching gender issues as well. One piece that I'm writing right now is the health of LGBT individuals increased because society is not accepting of them. That is a narrative that's just absolutely false. So looking at various aspects of the family and gender and sexuality, and I'm a weird guy in that I, delightfully get to read about this stuff every day, and reading academic studies and then writing about it and speaking about it, and, writing in the Federalist and speaking to wonderful people like you on your show.
Yeah. Well, I want people to take a look at what you've written. It is in the Federalist today. It is titled, "Why Are Lesbian Teens Having 2 to 7 times as many babies as their heterosexual partners?" And it goes into a number of areas that are very intriguing to compare, especially when, as Glenn said, the predominant narrative is that gender identity or sexual choice is fixed. It's not something that you can react to. And I guess, Glenn, before we go to our first break, that's kind of my final question. These kids aren't saying they did this sexual activity against their will or their choice that they wanted to.
No, this is what they wanted to do. And so, again, it shows that, yes, sexual orientation is much more fluid and mixed than we tend to believe.
Yeah. All right, more with Glenn Stanton as we continue. It's Kevin McCullough. Again, if you want to read this, it's at thefederalist.com, and I would encourage you to take a look at it today. Some helpful graphs and other things in it as well. Later on the show, Grace Santulli will be with us, and also David Fischer. Don't want you to miss any of those things. It is a Money Monday after all. And we're coming right back. This is Kevin McCullough Radio. Hi, Kevin McCullough. You know, the last couple of weeks I had several people ask me about just my opinion on what's the best way to lose weight. And I said, guys, if you don't understand by now, when I talk about 20 to 40 plus pounds being guaranteed by my friend Dr. Kerry Skorsky and the Bay Ridge Holistic Healthcare team within 40 days, you're never going to get it. See, the thing is, if you want to lose weight, you need to have both the science and the knowledge behind your plan. And that's what Dr. Kerry Skorsky has. He's helped thousands of people overcome obstacles and able to lose the weight. And how do you know it works? Because he guarantees it. So call today. It's all natural. You rebalance your hormones, you reset your metabolism, you eat only real food, and there are every single thing that you do is doctor supervised. There's no hunger, no cravings, no drugs, no prepackaged foods. You're going to love this program. Call 844-THE-DIET, 844-THE-DIET, 844-THE-DIET. That's 844-THE-DIET. Or go to anewyouin40days.com.
Okay, everyone, settle down. Now, instead of our usual morning report, I'd like to talk about what we should be doing to celebrate our 25th anniversary. You've all been doing great work, and I'd really like to give back and treat everyone to a killer party. Any ideas?
How about we all go bowling?
Anyone else?
A company picnic?
Gotta do better than that, people.
I know, let's get a yacht and cruise around Manhattan and party all night.
Yeah!
That's a great idea, but where can we get a yacht?
Just call Fran's Touch of Class at 212-385-9400 and charter the Atlantis. 3 decks, dance floor, state-of-the-art sound system, spotless restrooms, and the food and service is great. In fact, my niece's reception was there and it was unforgettable.
Fran's Touch of Class?
Fran will take care of everything. Just call her at 212-385-9400 or email her at events@franstouchofclass.com.
212-385-9400 or events@franstouchofclass.com. All right, people, let's make this happen.
Hi, Kevin McCullough. Everyone agrees that a beautiful engagement ring adds to the happiness of a couple's life together. Many couples believe they can't afford a custom-designed ring, and they end up settling for whatever the jeweler has in stock. No matter what your budget, you can get a beautiful custom-designed engagement ring and or wedding bands when you call my friend Anu at Lord's Diamonds. Anu takes incredible pride in helping clients get the custom-designed ring of their dreams. When you work with Lord's Diamonds, you'll start from scratch and as a team be part of the entire process, from hand-selecting the perfect diamond to choosing the initial ring model and the finished piece, and all within the budget you lay out. Honesty, integrity, and good Christian values. That's Anu and Lord's Diamonds. I bought pieces from Anu, and I wouldn't go to anyone else, nor should you. The follow-up and the caring go on unmatched anywhere. To set up an appointment, call Anu right now, 212-789-8500. That's Lord's Diamonds, 212-789-8500, or online at lordsdiamonds, all one word, .com. That's lordsdiamonds.com.
Suffering from back pain? The Brooklyn Spine Center is here to help. Listen to Dr. Robert Zaloom, cardiologist, Lutheran Medical Center.
My story actually goes back 20 years. I remember one incident lifting a box of heavy books and something snapped in my back. I was in so much pain and almost desperate. I said, I got to try something. So I came here. They took me right away. And the first day I had a treatment, and I couldn't believe in just one session, I already had 50% relief of my pain. In 2-3 3 weeks, I was pain-free. It was, for me, a miracle.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keller, director of the Brooklyn Spine Center. Through non-surgical spinal decompression, we have been able to give our patients their lives back and offer them an alternative to painful injections or risky surgery. Please call us. If we can help you, we will tell you, and if we can't help you, we will tell you that too.
Say hello to the Brooklyn Spine Center and goodbye to pain. Call 718-475-9438 or brooklynspinecenter.com. That's brooklynspinecenter.com.
The clock is ticking. Every day you put off buying life insurance can cost you big time. The older you get, the more you'll have to pay. And a sudden accident or unexpected illness could cause your rates to skyrocket or even make you uninsurable. Beat the clock. Call SelectQuote now. No hassle, no obligation. In minutes, you'll have a choice of your best rates from up to 10 highly rated life insurance companies. Richard, 40 years old, takes meds to control his cholesterol. Still, SelectQuote got him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $25 a month. Under $1 a day. Don't risk your family's security another minute. Get your free quote now. Just call 800-299-3636. That's 800-299-3636. 800-299-3636. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
When you need a lawyer you can trust, call the law offices of Dan Buttafuoco and Associates. Call 1-800-NOW-HURT. That's 1-800-NOW-HURT.
Breaking news as it happens. You're listening to Kevin McCullough Radio.
So glad you're with us. Welcome to a brand new week. Kevin McCullough talking with Glenn Stanton from Focus on the Family. He writes in the Federalist today, numerous studies across many nations find that sexual minority youth aged 14 to 19 have pregnancy rates 2 to 7 times greater than heterosexual peers, and their pregnancy rates continue to rise at a time when overall teen pregnancy rates are declining in the United States. Only one study to date, published earlier this year, has examined the pregnancy rates of adult sexual minority women. It reveals the same thing. Unintended pregnancies are higher among sexual minority women than heterosexual peers. Their proportions for ending pregnancies by abortion are double that of heterosexual women. In other words, friend, if you're listening, you have many women who claim to be bisexual or lesbian in nature. Something or some other sexual identity. There's so many of them now I can't keep track. There's 27, 28, 72. There's a lot of them. But those that would not say, I am a, quote, normal straight woman, that are not only getting pregnant at a much higher rate, but they are also having abortions at a much higher rate. And interestingly enough, this comes at a time when both of those categories tend to be dropping. So, Glenn Stanton, a Focus on the Family. What does this seem to indicate about women in today's, for lack of a better term, and I don't like this term, but sexual marketplace?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, it is a sexual marketplace. You're absolutely right. And what it shows us, and this is another point that I make in the article, that being gay and lesbian are two very different things. And that is because female sexuality is very different than male sexuality. These folks try to, pretend as if, well, male and female is just about body parts. But no, it goes deeper. And actually, lesbianism is more different than gayness, if you will, than they are similar. The lifelong, singular lesbian woman who is only known and interested in other women is a very rare thing. Typically, lesbian women, they are switching lanes sexually relatively regularly. And that's an important thing for us to understand, that lesbianism is more relational. It's more a thing of the heart. It's more emotional. Whereas gay sex is, men won't find this surprising, and women either. Males are just more sexually objective, if you will. They want the thing itself. And gay men are, generally more exploratory, if you will, to put it in a nice way, in terms of sexual opportunities. Women, not so much. And so that's an important thing for us to understand, that we can dismiss Well, no real differences between male and female, but even in the gay and lesbian communities, there are tremendous differences. And there are very liberal scholars who look at this kind of stuff who will tell us that's exactly the way it is.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that, Glenn, because I know that in the kind of the political arena of this debate, there is this kind of like Uber line that has to be towed, and if you don't, then you're put outside the camp and you can't be in it anymore. But I would hope that in academic and in research arenas, there are at least some secular scholars that are looking at it from trying to be an objective stance and say, what are we really learning about how these behaviors and these desires or orientations or whatever people want to call them are having, what effect are they having on the individuals and are they having on people that they interact with? And if people honestly come to the conclusion that there is some danger here, or that there is some negatives that would not be present otherwise, that's going to change the discussion if it comes from a liberal scholarly viewpoint as opposed to, for sake of a better term, the Family Research Council or somebody that's kind of got skin in the game on the political side. Do you understand the differentiation I'm making here?
Oh, no, absolutely. And that's, just a major policy and philosophy in my own research. And these scholars are out there is, you know what? Don't go to the extreme left or don't go to the extreme right looking for this information. Just look at reasonable scholars right down the middle who they may be more leftist personally, but they just don't have a dog in this fight. They're not interested in advocacy research. And the thing that makes my work so interesting is that these people are out there. You can read their studies. You can get these journals and look at their very surprising findings that, this stuff is true. The gay and lesbian story, the gay and lesbian narrative is much different than the popular press would have it.
Glenn, let's talk for a second before we're done about the what it tells us about teens, because the stuff that you wrote about in the Federalist piece today really deals with teen sexual behavior. Yeah. And it seems to indicate that the more fluid one's sexual appetite is, the more they practice, and the more they practice, the more dangerous the line of behaviors that they are also involved in.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, some of the critics of this would say, well, they're teenagers and they're exploring sexually. That's what teens do. But why then is the pregnancy rate so much lower and the sexual activity rate so much lower among heterosexual kids than the gay and lesbian identified kids? There is something psychological, emotional within these kids, unfortunately, that has them acting in such extreme and distinct ways. And our heart needs to break for these kids and be aware of these differences. But no, that's exactly it. There's something in the condition itself that is driving this. And we need to get at that and be willing, first of all, to admit that this could be the case.
The problem is the people that have the best ability to interact with these kids where they're making these decisions would be primarily parents and even educators. And if parents are lenient in their worldview towards, kind of just gross sexual carte blanche, I'm not going to tell my kids what's right and wrong. And we know, of course, that public education kind of takes that same approach. These kids are being left to hang out to dry. And there's really, outside of a youth group or some really concerned adults in their lives, there's not a real lifeline to them in the immediate convenience.
Yeah, and that's right. And it goes along, the current script goes along an untrue narrative, and that needs to change.
Yeah. All right, friends, I really encourage you to check this out. Glenn Stanton in today's Federalist. I'll link it up to the social media. Why are lesbian teens having 2 to 7 times as many babies as their heterosexual peers? It will give you something very strong to think about, but also to have to discuss when you have these conversations. As we all know, they occasionally pop up. Glenn Stanton, a Focus on the Family. Thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, you bet, Kevin. Thanks.
It's Kevin McCullough Radio. Coming right back.
Buttafuoco and Associates has successfully won nearly $500 million in verdicts and settlements. Dan talks about representing Scott.
Scott's case was one of the most important cases my office ever handled. First of all, Scott was a true public servant. He was actually working as a state police officer when he was injured. He was riding an ATV on the dunes when it hit a defect that shouldn't have been there from an old snow fence. His ATV flipped over, he broke his neck, and he became a quadriplegic. The state offered $0 to settle this case, so it was all or nothing. We had to win this case, which we did. In state court, the case settled for close to $15 million. The actual payout is closer to about $40 million, so Scott is set for the rest of his life with his family. The case was so important it made the front page of the Law Journal.
For a free evaluation of your case, call 1-800-NOW-HURT, 1-800-669-4878, helping accident victims rebuild their lives. Buttafuoco and Associates, 1-800-669-4878.
Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
It's absolutely amazing that the combination of these capsules improves your health. It does tell you the value of food and nutrition.
I actually can feel a difference. I really can.
I love the product. It's wonderful. I can't live without it. It's really helping me. Every time I take it, my body says, thank you.
This is the first winter that I went through that I didn't get a cold.
I love my fruits and veggies. I'm a line dancer, and I just turned 78, and it has made a big difference in my stamina and just my overall well-being, and I have so enjoyed them. I just love taking them and what they do for me.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code The Mission.
How would you like to know that you beat any auto dealer price on any new make or model car with terms that are right for you while saving time and never sitting in a car dealership waiting room again? Buy the new car you're looking for at the best price with Vineyard Auto Group, regardless of your credit history. They'll compare financing rates and insurance and explain so that you can easily understand all of it. Vineyard Auto Group cuts out the middleman, and that saves you time and money. And the Christian principles they've built their business on provide you added security. Any new make or model is available. Call Vineyard Auto Group at 866-965-AUTO or visit vineyardautogroup.com. That's Vineyard Auto Group. 866-965-AUTO or vineyardautogroup.com. That's 866-965-AUTO or visit vineyardautogroup.com.
Warning. If you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-798-5583. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-798-5583. That's 1-800-798-5583. 1-800-798-5583.
This segment of Kevin McCullough Radio is brought to you by MyPillow. Up to 50% off on MyPillow.com. Promo code WMCA.
What you need to know when you need it. It's Kevin McCullough Radio.
It truly is. And coming up yet Money Monday, where we will take a look at what is going on in the markets and how they have responded after the North Korea news and some of the other things that have been in the headlines. Again, anything that you wanted from the Glenn Stanton interview, we're going to post that on the social media, so I hope you get a chance to access those resources. Grace Santulli is our promotions director around the radio station here at my flagship AM 570, The Mission, and we do something kind of cool. Those of you that don't live in the city or even in the metro area, and we know that, well, for instance, I have some people listening in Prague. How that happens, I don't really fully understand. But nonetheless, if you're in the tri-state, there's a very special program that we run that allows your student to get a Christian education at half off the price it would normally cost them. And she's here to tell us a little bit about that. Grace, thanks for being in.
Thanks for having me, Kevin.
So this program is really designed to do two things. It's to champion the work of the Christian schools in our area and say, hey, we've got some really great ones. And it's designed to give parents who want to give their student the opportunity to a Christian education but maybe can't afford the full tuition for the first year, the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, so what it is we've partnered with different Christian schools throughout the tri-state area. Some of them are K through 12. Some of them are just junior high. We have one that's also just a daycare if you want to send your young one to a Christian daycare. And we've gotten these schools to offer tuition seats at half the cost, which is an incredible opportunity for a lot of these schools.
Well, and when you consider the difference that people make between just their local public school and kind of the secular worldview that they are kind of indoctrinated with, and the opportunity to send their child to a school that embraces a bibliocentric or a God-centered worldview, there's a real difference. And so this is something that that parents have found helpful, have they not?
They really have. In the past few years, we've been able to send so many kids to Christian schools where it just wouldn't have been an option for them before. And a lot of these kids that were taken out of the public schools because they experienced bullying or just because their parents wanted to make sure that they were taught with the same beliefs that they held true. So it really is a great way to get yourself in the door at a great Christian school and to give your kids
and we have a number of schools. Yeah, and we have a number of schools that are already in the program. The Flushing Christian School in Queens, Hawthorne Christian Academy in northern New Jersey, Smithtown Christian in Smithtown, New York, Kearney Christian, Christ Our Foundation Learning Center in Jamaica, Trinity Christian in Montville, New Jersey, the Bible Speaks Academy in Brooklyn, Gateway Academy in Staten Island, and of course Timothy Christian in Piscataway. But some people may say, Grace, well, we don't live near any of those, but we do know of a Christian school in our area. Is it possible for us to participate?
Well, it is just for participating schools. However, we are always looking to expand our list of schools. So if you have a school that you want to be in, send your child to, but it's not on the list, go ahead and call us anyway. Let us know, and we will reach out to that school and let them know about the program and see if we can get them to join as well.
And it's a great opportunity for the Christian school because I said it accomplishes two things. One is to help the Christian students get into Christian schools, but then it also gives the Christian school some presence on our airwaves. Explain how that works.
That's right. So the way it works for schools and also how we're able to get these schools to offer these half-off tuition seats is if you're a school and you join this program, instead of getting paid in money through the tuition, you would actually get paid through advertising on WMCA. So you offer up a half-off tuition seat, and then that payment from the parent comes to us at the radio station, and then we take that and we double it, and we give you an advertising campaign that's equal to the full cost of 1 year's tuition. So that way you're able to reach so many more potential students who could learn so much from being at your school.
Friends, I hope you understand the value. The idea of this is threefold. One, the radio station wants to champion Christian education and help parents. The parent wants to help their student, and so by getting a full year's worth of education at half the cost, that's a tremendous financial benefit for them. And the school benefits from raising its profile and letting more people know that they exist. It truly is a win-win-win for all of the parties that are involved, and so we really do look for the opportunity to help you in this way. Grace, if they want to either sign up for one of the schools that are on the list, or if they want to make a nomination for a school that is currently not on the list, who should they contact and how should they reach them?
They should contact me. So you can give me a call. It's Grace Santulli. I'm at 212-857-9643. Again, that's 212-857-9643. If you get the voicemail, just leave a message and I will get back to you. You can also email me at graces@nycradio.com. That's GRACE SRACE, S as in Sam, at nycradio.com. And if you didn't catch that, go to our website, am570themission.com, and the navigation bar, click on scholarships, and then click on discount tuition. It has a list of all of the participating schools and my contact information.
All right. Easiest way is just to call her, 212-857-9643, 212-857-9643. Grace Santulli, thank you much. This is Kevin McCullough Radio. Hi, Kevin McCullough. It's summertime, and I know there's nothing tougher than deciding what you want to put on your grill for that next big barbecue or even for dinner on a weeknight. I've got a perfect couple of products for you to try. The new unmistakable Latin flavor of Campesino Salami Especial and Jamonita Campesino. The Sabao Meat Products are the company that put these out. The Campesino Salami Especial is a favorite blend of meats and spices. Tastes great. It's high in protein, gluten-free. The Jamonita Campesino is also a blend of salami and ham, also delicious and high in protein. They're perfect for grilling, sandwiches, or even salads. You can find these and any other products of Sabao Meats at a supermarket near you, including BJ's, Costco, Jetro, Stop & Shop, and Sam's Clubs. Pick up Sabao Meat Products, and don't forget to listen to my show every Friday to hear the Sabao Meat Trivia Question of the Week, or head to am570themission.com for a chance to win a whole basket of these delicious grilling goodies. Remember, if you don't see their logo from the start, don't put it in your shopping cart. Sabao Meat Products, over 45 years of tradition and quality.
Message and data rates may apply.
If you've been wearing a ball cap all summer because you're embarrassed about hair loss, it's not too late to lose the hat and get your hair back. Because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration expert, is giving everyone who texts COOL to 543-543 an absolutely free information kit and a free $250 gift card as part of the End of Summer Savings Event. Trusted by millions of men and women, Bosley is always pioneering the latest technology to deliver the permanent solution to hair loss. And when you text COOL to 543-543, your free information kit will reveal just how easy and affordable it really is. There's never been a better time to get your hair back with Bosley's permanent solution to hair loss, thanks to the End of Summer Savings Event. Don't miss out. Get your free information kit and free gift card for $250 off by texting COOL to 543-543. That's COOL to 543-543.
If you're a firm believer that education is a top priority in helping shape our children to be the future leaders of tomorrow, then you'll be excited to know that AM 570 The Mission has developed a program to help parents send their children to the best Christian schools in the area. The half-off tuition program is a way for parents to send their children to school at half the cost of the annual tuition. We've partnered up with some of the leading schools in the New York, New Jersey metro area. This is a great way for parents to reduce the costs and still have their children receive a quality education. AM 570 The Mission is also offering each school the opportunity to promote their school with a full radio advertising campaign. This is just our way to say thank you to the parents and schools that already know the importance of a good education. For more information, go to am570themission.com and click on the discount tuition banner. Here are just a few of the schools available: Kearney Christian Academy, Christ Our Foundation Learning Center, Gateway Academy. Once again, go to am570themission.com for a full listing of the schools.
Back in 1993, Medishare was known as the best-kept secret in healthcare. But not anymore. Today, there are hundreds of thousands of Americans who've discovered what us long-timers have known since the beginning. Medishare is affordable healthcare that really works. The great thing is, we're not an insurance company. We're a nonprofit community. Hundreds of thousands of honest, hardworking people who agree to share each other's medical bills. Every share goes to help a fellow member. And when we say affordable, we mean it's common for our members to save upwards of $500 a month. Best of all, Medishare is always open. You can join anytime. So how about now? Isn't it time you joined Medishare?
Call 844-41-BIBLE to find out how much you can save on your health care. Medishare, now available in Montana. Call 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE.
For a free evaluation of your case, call the law offices of Dan Buttafuoco and Associates. Call 1-800-NOW-HURT. 1-800-NOW-HURT.
happening in New York or across the globe. Learn why it matters first on Kevin McCullough Radio.
All right, coming up before we're done with Money Monday, I'm going to tell you how you could win 10 free ounces of silver, which is a very nice prize because 1 week from today, we have the opportunity to do just that. On Kevin McCullough Radio, we will announce the winner of the contest to win 10 free ounces of silver from Landmark Capital. And the CEO, David Fischer, rejoins us on this Money Monday. David, good to have you with us. Let me jump right in today. Lots of discussion from former Fed Chairman and current Fed Chairman. The former, Alan Greenspan, last week said that there's a bubble in the bond market, and he encourages caution. Your reaction to that?
Well, I think he's right because he said the real-term, long-term interest rates are much too low and cannot continue at this level. And when they start moving higher, and they're going to move higher reasonably fast, he said, we're going to experience a bubble that will not only affect the bond market, but he said the stock market's not immune. And I think that's the biggest thing of the unknown, that once the Fed starts to really do this, it will affect at least one major market, bonds, which is going to affect pensions, which, the stock market is not immune by what happens in the bond market.
Right. It seems like it's all a kabuki theater, stack of dominoes. It's ready. Like one toothpick gets removed and the whole thing falls apart sometimes. Current Fed Chairwoman Janet Yellen says she doesn't see a financial crisis in our lifetime. Now, David, how can Greenspan be saying one thing and Yellen be saying something else?
Well, the strange thing about central bankers, when they're in a central bank chair, and that chairperson, they never see financial problems. Yet, under both leaderships, and the last three, there's been massive financial problems. In 1999, when Greenspan was chairperson, he said that he didn't know if it was possible for stocks to be in a bubble. And the very next year, we had this thing as bubble pop in stocks in 100 years. The market crashed. In 2007, Bernanke claimed that the subprime mortgage meltdown was contained and it would not spill over to the economy. The next year, the market crashed and the economy imploded and it went global. So, they were totally wrong. And I'm going to say Fed Chairman recently, when she said there's not going to be a financial crisis in our lifetime, I'm 56 and we're about the same age bracket. I think we're going to live a long time, and I think Yellen's going to be around for another 10 years, and most people are saying it's going to happen in 2 to 5 years. So I think she's absolutely wrong, as well as the previous three were wrong. That's what they need to say.
Yeah, well, David, don't we have regular corrections about every 7 to 8 years?
Yeah, history has proven that's the norm amount of time where we have a 10% or greater correction. And we haven't had one since 2008.
Yeah. Well, okay, so Greenspan and Yellen disagree, but one is the current bank chairman, as you pointed out, and one's the former, so maybe that has something to do with it. The Fed announced this year it's going to reduce its balance sheet. What does that mean, and how does that affect us?
Well, you're right on your previous statement. Bernanke's issued warnings since he left office. I think Yellen will do the same, but in office they don't do this. But the balance sheet, the Fed has, ballooned the balance sheet to $4.5 trillion, something that's never happened. They bought mortgage-backed securities and treasuries. Now they need to sell that, unwind it. The Fed has unwound their balance sheet 6 times before, and previously 5 out of the 6, it's caused the economy to go into a massive recession. So they don't have a very good track record unwinding this, and 2 years ago, they admitted openly, and they still say today they don't have a method to unwind this that won't affect the market. So get ready. We're going to have something happen in the next couple of years, probably.
What does it mean? How do they physically go about reducing the balance sheet? What does it mean to unwind it?
Well, they have treasuries that they hold, like a central bank holds too, and when the treasuries come mature, when the timeline of a 5-year note is 5 years due or 10 or whatever the duration is, they don't use that money and reinvest in treasuries. So they start to sell it. So typically they've been, reinvesting it. So now they're going to go the other direction. The tide went out, now it's coming back in. So they're going to sell treasuries, get rid of them.
I don't see how that could do anything but hurt the economy. Okay, well, you've talked a lot about this. In fact, a lot of the Sunday shows addressed it yesterday, but the debt ceiling's coming due. It seems to be one of the worst things that we've engaged in terms of continually raising how much debt we're taking on as a country. I don't know how we can continue to sustain that. But what is the news on the debt ceiling, and how does it impact us in the near future?
Well, they're starting to talk about this finally. Most of the current administration, I'm not just referring to the president, but the administration as a whole is inexperienced and don't understand the gravity of defaulting on a debt. In talks previously about raising the debt ceiling, Kevin, whatever party was in office previously, it wasn't divided. And also most debt ceilings didn't come at the same time when the annual budget was coming, and that is happening simultaneously this time. But the last time this happened simultaneously, the debt ceiling and a budget, was 2012. We had Democrat president, and Democrats were running the country from a ownership. They were unified. They passed the budget, and they raised the debt ceiling simultaneously within a matter of days in 2012. But the budget deficit, when it was passed, showed a huge budget deficit that we couldn't manage our $14 trillion of debt at that time. Now we're at almost 20. And we got a huge credit downgrade for the second time in the history of our country, and gold, silver rallied for months after that, 40% up in 5 months. And we didn't default. This time, though, we have a Republican Party that is currently not together. They're not unified, and particularly the Freedom Caucus, and the division has much emotion, with evidence showing up in the middle inability to repeal and replace Obamacare. The numbers aren't right. They're fighting, and this time it could all happen at once, and this is why they're saying unless September 29th they raise this debt ceiling, we will have a default which could be utter catastrophic to the markets and the economy.
Well, speaking of the 29th of September, that's the date by which if you roll over your 401k or IRA with Landmark Capital into their rollover option, they're going to give you 10 free ounces of silver if your 401k or IRA is $25,000 or more. And if you've been giving to it for any length of time, that's likely very possible. So roll it over and get the trade placed before September 29th, 10 free ounces of silver. Also, you could win 10 free ounces if you go to landmarkgold.com, sign up for the newsletter, and then put in the comment section why owning precious metals is important to you. We will announce that winner next Monday here on Money Monday. And, of course, get the Coming Bail-In, the 6th edition, totally free when you call 844-604-2575, 844-604-2575, 844-604-2575. David Fischer, thanks so much. Hi, it's Kevin McCullough, and in this economy, wouldn't you like to be able to consolidate home equity with your first mortgage? With Mike and Brian and Intercontinental Capital Group, you can do just that. Give them a call at 800-300-8919. In addition, with home values rising and interest rates where they are, Mike and Brian want me to let you know that you can eliminate your PMI, private mortgage insurance, and they are here to help. 800-300-8919 is their number, so give them a call today. Intercontinental Capital Group, licensed mortgage banker, equal housing lender, NMLS 60134.
It's no surprise that pastors trust and constantly recommend Dan Buttafuoco's office to personal injury victims.
Pastor Larry, a really wonderful human being, has a really great church, and his main focus is feeding the homeless. Pastor Larry was walking from the church one day, and he was in the crosswalk when he was hit by a school bus, very badly injured. The school bus driver claimed he was only doing 3 miles an hour, but we knew from the fact that the Freightliner logo was imprinted on his arm that could not possibly be the case. So we were able to prove that the bus was going much faster. The case settled for close to $5 million after the initial offer was $200,000.
What makes Buttafuoco & Associates different is they serve their clients beyond the case. They help accident victims rebuild their lives. For a free evaluation of your case, call 1-800-NOW-HURT. 1-800-669-4878. That's 1-800-669-4878.
Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Hey, Dad, ready for golf?
Hi, son. I'm not sure I'm going to make it today. My arthritis is acting up this morning.
Dad, have you tried Blue Emu?
Have I tried what?
Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis Relief. Works fast, penetrates deep, relieves pain in your achy muscles and joints.
But I don't want to smell like a medicine chest.
You won't. Blue Emu's non-greasy and odor-free.
In that case, let's play 36 today.
Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis Relief. Beat the pain and enjoy life. Available at Walmart and Walgreens.
What you need to know when you need it. It's Kevin McCullough Radio.
It is absolutely true that the vice president is getting ready for 2020 for re-election as vice president.
Thank you, Kellyanne Conway. Thank you for having the guts to say what needs to be said in the midst of all this silliness that is taking place. I don't know if you followed this, friends, but the New York Times over the weekend had a piece about a shadow campaign for president in 2020 and how Mike Pence was supposedly the focal point of this shadow campaign that's going to run against the president of the United States. Sadly, some morning shows in New York City, not naming any, continue to further this myth from conspiracy-minded producers that aren't admitting what's right in front of their face. And that is that Kellyanne Conway and Mike Pence and others who came from the fairly conservative portion of the Republican Party, when they gave their commitment to President Donald Trump, they gave their full commitment to President Donald Trump. And as Kellyanne Conway and as Mike Pence himself, the vice president, strongly denounced in his own terms this article over the weekend, and as Kellyanne Conway did on George Stephanopoulos yesterday, it is important to understand that President Trump's team is indivisible. These people are not able to, you're not going to be able to drive a wedge in between them and President Trump, because loyalty to their task and to their team is one of their greatest character traits. This is how Kellyanne Conway addressed this stupidity, this conspiracy that Mike Pence is leading some sort of shadow attempt to overtake the presidency. She nipped this stupidity in the bud yesterday. Take a listen.
I want to make a remark about Vice President Pence. I've worked with him for 10 years as his pollster, as a senior advisor, and certainly work with him daily in the White House. It is absolutely true that the vice president is getting ready for 2020 for re-election as vice president.
So no concern
and
he's setting up a shadow
also getting ready
campaign?
for 2018. Zero concern. That is complete fiction. That is complete fabrication. And I know that his advisors, who had comments attributed to them, have pushed back very strongly, as has the vice president, and as am I right now, unequivocally. Vice President Pence is a very loyal, very dutiful, but also incredibly effective vice president, an active vice president with this president. He is a peer to the president in the West Wing.
And so what she means by all of that is that he's one of the most needed resources that the president is utilizing in the conducting of his administration. And I would, it gets all fun. It's very Roger Stone-ish to contemplate if the vice president could be implicated in a deep state conspiracy. Anybody that peddles that garbage should be shown the door. And if you hear someone peddling that garbage, you should correct them, because Mike Pence is an honorable man. He's an honorable man who made an honorable decision and has stood by this president through every negative turn that the administration has had thrown at it from a press that is being dishonest, and, to be candid, from some in the Republican Party that have taken shots at it to try to bring it down, the likes of John McCain. But, my friends, I know Mike Pence. Mike Pence is no John McCain. And we need to understand that he's going to be there doing his job as the president has requested him to do it. And I was glad that Kellyanne Conway came out and made it unequivocal and categorical that the president's team is indivisible, and they will continue to be in the days to come. I'm Kevin McCullough. Talk to you later.